It's the season of upgrades. Now, listen, I have a really quick story time, so just stick with me for just a quick second. So this past weekend, my son and I were traveling up north to see my other son's performance this weekend. Well, this weekend that passed. And the room that they gave us at the hotel, it was a room on the first floor. And so as soon as we went into the room had like this funky odor. It was stinky. It was just like, I was like, I don't know exactly if it was something in the carpet or what it was, but I was just like, and I'm really very particular about hotels. It's got to be a specific hotel. It's got to be a specific type. I don't do I can't do nothing that ain't clean, that isn't upscale. I just can't do it. Now call me what you want, but I don't care. And so we get into the room and I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's just, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm tripping. So my son and I, we begin to clean the room like we will Lysol everything down. We have Febreze, we have wipes, we have everything. And I'm like, maybe it's just a stale odor. We opened up the window and all of that. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to be that person. So let me not complain. So let me see what I can do. So we cleaned out the room. And so then, it started to smell a little bit better. So we left and then we came back and then the odor was still there. And so my son was like, why don't we just ask? And at first I was like, I don't know. So then immediately something jumped at me. We left to go to the pool and I went straight to the hotel clerk and I said, excuse me, ma'am, our room stinks. Our room has an odor in it. So we need another room. And she was like, oh no, oh my goodness. Okay. So she begins to get ready and type things up to give us, a new key. And so the new key that she gives us was room 333. Okay. And so as soon as we got to the room, we went in there and we took everything out of the old room. We went up to the new room. And when we went up to the new room, it had a beautiful view. It was fresh. The air was crisp. It was clean. It smelled good and all of those things. And I was just like, oh yes. Okay. This is it. This is it. Okay. This is where we're supposed to be. I hear you, Holy Spirit. I hear you. And so the lesson out of it, the Holy Spirit began to speak to me because over the past week, the Holy Spirit has been saying, I'm upgrading you. I'm upgrading you. I'm upgrading you. Expect luxury. Like I'm upgrading you. I'm changing your identity. I'm upgrading you. And so I heard in the Spirit, don't settle for the lower level. Don't settle for what you're used to. You may have in that season been used to something on the lower level, but not only did God upgrade us from the room that we were in, he upgraded us from the bottom floor to the top floor. He upgraded us from the bottom to the top. And God was saying to me, this is what I'm doing for you. I'm upgrading you. Not only am I upgrading your status, but I'm taking you from the bottom to the top. And the fact that the room was 333, 3 is the number of the Holy Trinity. So it's a very holy number. And the fact that it was 333 just showed me, I was like, okay, Holy Spirit, I see that you're in this. And so I want to encourage you today, don't settle. Don't settle for what you're used to. You don't live in poverty. You don't live in lack. Lack is not your portion. The things that you've dealt with in the past, the way that you may have had to live in the past, God is upgrading you. He's not only upgrading you in the physical, but he's upgrading you in the spirit. He's saying to you today, you don't have to settle for what's down here because I'm bringing you up higher. You don't have to settle for what's down here because I'm taking you up higher. I'm upgrading you. Not only am I upgrading where you are, the level that you are, I'm upgrading the status. I'm upgrading the experience. I'm upgrading everything around you. I'm upgrading the aesthetic. You don't have to settle. I didn't create you to settle. I didn't create you to settle for the lower level because I have something for you up here. I'm upgrading you. And so I was thinking, okay, maybe I'm just thinking like, materialistically, I'm thinking like, okay, God's upgrading me and he's telling me about this, my royal status and luxury and thing like that. I had to make sure it wasn't me, but God was saying, no, that's not you. I'm telling you this. I'm doing this for you because this is where I'm taking you. This is where I'm taking you. You don't belong down here anymore. Where you belong is up here. You belong up here with me. So he took me from 102 to room 333, where the view was beautiful, where the air was crisp and clean, where it was spotless, where there was no odor, there was no smell, there was no stench, there was no residue. How dare you settle when God says, I have something for you up here? So I just want to encourage you today, because I know the message was not just for me. God is upgrading you. He's been giving me that message. He's been giving me that message to share. I've done videos about that before in the past couple of months, but this was a physical representation, a physical confirmation of what he's doing. God is upgrading you. He's upgrading your status. He's upgrading your experience. He's upgrading your name. He's upgrading your pay grade. He's upgrading from the bottom to the top. Started from the bottom. Now we here, baby. God is upgrading you. Get prepared for what God is about to do because your status is changing. Peace.